Today we're doing a super exciting build of a full app with Cursor. We're going to see how fast we can do it. I'm going for 20 minutes, and if you don't know, Cursor is the AI code editor. A lot of people are talking about it. Is it really living up to the hype? I personally think yes. Been using it for maybe 2 months and loving it. Really speeds up workflows, especially when you're building things from scratch, whether a whole app or just new components for your app and various things of that nature. So in this video, I'm gonna give you an overview of what we're gonna build, why we're building it, and then I'm gonna try to fully launch this app and deploy it. I'll show you how I'm doing everything, and hopefully it won't be too boring. And yeah, we're gonna see how fast it will go. So let's get started. So I've been trying to build kind of like influencer marketing apps for close to 2 years. Haven't had a huge hit with it, but the problem is definitely real, which is influencer marketing. It can work really well, but for most brands, it's very difficult because their current tools are inefficient, they're expensive, and etc. So I'm playing around in this space, continuing to increase my knowledge, try different things. And one opportunity I've seen recently is that a lot of businesses, like they already have their customer list, like say your Shopify store, you have a record of everyone's email who's ever bought from you. And in other cases, you might have an email subscriber list. So what I'm thinking is like these people are kind of the best advocates or affiliates for the brand. And of course, you can just email them all a referral bonus, an email offer, or another type of offer for referring a friend. However, when it comes to this list, not everyone's created equal. So you might have people who have bought from you who are like big social media influencers. They have followings on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And with these people, you might want to send them like, let's say a free set of bonus products, or pay them a little bit to be an advocate for your brand. And it's great because you know they genuinely love your products because they already bought from you or subscribe to you and know you without you paying them. So basically, if you can find these people and then do what you want once you have this data, I think that could be huge for companies. So what I'm thinking is like a super simple software tool which allows you to upload your customer list, and then it gives you basically back which of these influencers have large social media followings using an influencer search API. What I'm thinking is it can be credit-based, so you can sign up, get some free credits, see how it works, and then it's only going to charge you for successful matches. And then, at least for the MVP, you can download the results of everyone who is a match, what is their follower count, platform, URL to their profile, so you can go from there. So I've kind of already set up the project just because that part is very boring and not interesting. Basically, I created a new directory with Vite. I set up my Firebase project, which you can do with the Firebase console, and turned on Google Auth. I set up Firebase locally, meaning I just linked my project to my repo, my Firebase project. And I also added my secrets already to a .env file because, yeah, I can't put those on YouTube. So, and then, yeah, I'm also gonna just use an existing Stripe account that I have, just because it's not worth creating a new one for a practice project, but setting up Stripe is very easy. Basically, if you want to see everything I did, here it is. Here are the commands. Just set up Vite, linked Firestore, and moved my secrets from a temp folder to my functions folder, which are mainly going to use the secrets. Then we can open up our running app. It's just a Vite starting point. And then we can get into what is our prompt going to be? How is Cursor going to build this? So I've also gone ahead and written quite a detailed spec. And you're gonna say, well, if you're doing all this, like it's not really building from scratch. And what I'll say is this is like, number one, I think writing as many details up front, it really helps you get the best first shot output with the Cursor Composer. Composer being the part of Cursor that can edit, create, and span across multiple files. Because once you have the generated code, it's much harder to change. And so, yeah, and you can also have AI generate this for you. Like if you're not really familiar with your stack already, it might be able to fill in some of the gaps that you have in your knowledge, especially if you have not been programming for almost 10 years like I have. So just running through this super quick, define the stack up top, kind of like the color scheme. The data model, we're gonna have 3 Firebase collections, one for people who log in, one for successful matches and saving the influencer data there, and then each CSV upload we do and what the status of that upload is. Like, did it succeed? Did it fail for some reason? Define the secret keys just so Cursor knows what they are. And then of course we have our provider React context. So that's where we're gonna have most of our state. And it basically is just the basic stuff, reading from the database collections and then writing to them. And our most important write, which is the actual check, is going to occur in a cloud function, just so it can run on the backend and we can retry it, etc. if it fails. Now, components/pages is just going to be our pages of our front end. So we have a simple landing page with at the slash path. We have a login page, just going to use Google login. Dashboard is going to display our entire table of influencer matches, and then have some filtering. I don't know if that's going to work. And then also have a place where you can upload, which is going to have a drop zone. You can drag and drop files in. And I've made this really detailed because this part I think is quite important, and Cursor can mess it up if I'm not explicit. Then just the nav bar, pretty straightforward there. And then finally, the Firebase functions, aka our backend tasks. Biggest one being the after you upload, what is the logic? So I've kind of basically written out the code I would write in plain text because I don't want it to miss anything. Even did a request to our API just explicitly because it can't really know that without me providing the docs or similar. And then, yeah, just error handling, basically everything. You can pause it and read through here if you're interested. And then the other webhooks are just for Stripe. So generating a checkout session to buy more credits, or in addition to that, a webhook, which when the checkout is successful, it will upload our user table with those credits. And then finally, if you want to see like your billing history, you can do a hosted portal in Stripe rather than saving that to our own database. It's just more secure to keep it in Stripe, and the UI is more familiar for people. So with all that being said, let's just paste this into Cursor and see what happens. Really, really quick though, before we do that, I want to just recommend, if this AI stuff is completely new for you, a free PDF that I've been recommending a lot recently. It is the AI for Business Builders guide from HubSpot. It's just a really, I guess, good starting point. And even if you think you know AI, it just helps you a lot with prompting, when to use APIs, and an overview of AI agents, which are getting quite popular, and you're seeing like huge valuations with AI agent apps. So basically it covers all these things at a high level and gives you some new terminology, some new techniques to try, especially with your prompts. It's actually my favorite part is the prompting section, because you can understand iterative prompting better, exemplary prompting, where you give your AI like some examples of outputs and what those examples could be for the best results, as well as trying to get just better one-shot prompts in general. There's some simple small tips, but they actually really personally helped me when I started using a Cursor more. So yeah, if you're thinking about building an app or a side project using AI tools, or actually integrating your AI into that app specifically, then this Business Builders Guide is worth checking out. It's completely free. Just visit the link below, and shout out to HubSpot for providing this resource and sponsoring this video. All right, let's copy paste our entire prompt. So I'm just taking it from notes. We're going over to our Cursor. I have a different app open here, so let's just close that. And then let's open, well, other way we can do it is just Cursor and open like that. All right, so we're just gonna check. Yep, everything is, as we can see, a starter v repo. And then I'm just gonna literally copy paste as is here. One more thing I wanna add, code this entire app without stopping. Don't add any to-dos, do everything. Reason I'm adding that, Cursor can be a little bit lazy and just say, so you would do this, and then the rest of the ones, you'd kind of go from there. Let's try to get it to do it on the first try. Other thing I mentioned in my other video, you can use O1 or you can use Claude Sonnet. I've found Sonnet to be a little bit faster and pretty good still, so I'll just use Sonnet for this one. So let's see how long it takes to run, starting at 2:22. And in the meantime, we could do some other, I guess, I don't know, stuff with our config setup on Firebase, etc. But we've already taken care of that, so no worries. Okay, there's gonna be certain parts of this video that I speed up just because it's a little bit boring, but I'm gonna try to keep everything real time, like no cutting as much as possible. And if you wanna see the real amount of time this took, just check the clock in the top right-hand corner. So this is when I ran the first prompt. It's around 2:24, and then you can just add the additional time onto that. It's done running, it's 2:24, so I think it took about 2 minutes, which is cool because it created a ton of files. So we saved everything, and we already know it's not gonna work because it did not install the dependencies for us. So actually, we can also say provide a list of npm dependencies we need to install. And then it will do that. And there's one other thing I know we need to do, which is to add our Firebase config. Okay, so it gave us what we need to install in each directory. So let's first do these in the main directory, about 10 dependencies here. And then we can do the same in functions, frankly, at the same time. So let's do that. And while that is running, let's take our Firebase project configuration from Firebase. So we just go to config, copy, and we can Control Shift F for Firebase config and add it right here. Okay. Checking back over. Okay, this might be the one part I speed up because my internet is a little bit slow here in Japan. So I'll just see you in 1 minute. All right, finally got it done. As you can see, it took 5 minutes just to run that. And let's restart our server so all the dependencies we know are being pulled in. So here we go. We have our starting point at least, and we can already see it's a little bit messed up, but I already know the reason. It's because our Vite has some default CSS that we just want to delete. So we'll delete this file, and we'll also delete this file because we don't need these default styles. Okay, now we're full width. We can get started, and we can sign up with Google. Since we enabled Google Auth with Firebase already, it should hopefully just work. This slow internet took a long time. And okay, now we are in. So unfortunately did not do a redirect, but we can check, I believe we called it dashboard by visiting directly. Also gave us a loading state, that's cool. And I have no idea where our menu items are. They're here, they're just not visible. So we just have to change the styling on those. Let's just go through the issues as we see them. So yeah, the first one is gonna be this. So let's just jump in and get familiar with our directory. So we have navbar, which my guess is it's here. And then let's actually just do a generator on these buttons. Yeah, account, uploads, and leads. And make these visible on YTBG. So I just hit Command K. We'll see if it fixes it for us. No. So that is, we're getting into the first issue here with, with cursor. When it doesn't have the full context of everything, it doesn't know how to make changes. So because it doesn't know the background color, it doesn't know what to change the text color to. Let's try changing the button variant to make always visible on dark background, but no border. Yeah, so these are buttons still. Probably we just want to change these to text. So just doing one more change here. There we go. And then we can add hover state, more padding, flex items align center. Let's just do margin right 8. And then autocomplete should help us a little bit here. Yeah. I'm just hitting tab, and then let's just add hover state to these. And more or less it worked. We might want to add a transition to make that look a little bit better, but no worries. Next thing is this sign out menu button is not great. So we can just do change to dark color scheme. Let's see if that works. Still no. So the issue is, I think in this menu item, yeah, so the non-hover state is messing it up. So let's just start it with a dark gray, and then it will go to a lighter gray. Okay, so we kind of fixed our menu bar here. Let's check if all the links work. This is not going to work yet because we haven't set up our portal link code. And because we don't have any leads yet, again, this doesn't look great, but it's fine for MVP. We can go to uploads. So I've created a mock data spreadsheet just with name and email in Google Sheets, and I downloaded that already. So let's just try the drag and drop and find that from our most recent download. So I'm going to drag this in. It allows us to map. It's not automatically mapping the fields, which we should potentially fix, and then continue. All right, so now we're getting failed to confirm upload. So we can just debug that by going to here, and this is doing a callable function. Now the reason is our callable functions are not running, but what we can do is add a functions emulator in development environment. This is just domain knowledge for Firebase, and we can also do npm run serve to get those callable functions working. I think that's fine, yeah. So when node env not production, run functions emulator. All right, so I duplicated some code. We can just delete down here, and we can do that, restart our server. Now, in theory, callable functions should work, but we have an error. Our node version doesn't match. So let's just do nvm use 16 and then try running it again. And then we have an actual syntax error. I already know it's with node fetch. So let's just go to our functions file. Yeah, node fetch is really weird. Like that, like always has this error. So I usually just pull this from another repo, but let's see if Cursor can do it. That's not going to work because you need require statements in functions, and or maybe you don't, I don't remember. So I'm just going to take this from a different repo because previously, like, I GitHub searched for this issue, but yeah, this is just a little bit faster. So with the node fetch, that's not a problem there. Just see. It's this one that we need, like this. So I'm just copy this, and then we'll try this and see if that works. All right, so I refreshed. We are no longer getting that error. Now we have this secret key error, and it didn't want to pull this from an environment variable, so we can just pull it from our Stripe secret key like that. And now API key, config authenticator. So I just didn't quite use our environment variables correctly, so we just want to change that. This one's going to come later when we set up our webhook. And the one it's giving us an issue with now is what? API key, config authenticator. Yeah, so we're going to want to replace all this code here. So let's just comment this out for now because yeah, we got to set that up in Stripe. All right, now Stripe, wait, checkout session. Wait, where is this coming from? Okay, let's just restart. Okay, let's check this stack trace 5 Stripe. Okay, so we're just not quite doing this correctly. And if I check my other repo here, just for reference, yeah, we need secret key, but we can actually just move this import into our functions so we can deal with it later. Okay, now we're getting this error. Our emulator is not running, but it should be. And now we can check. So it should be connected. Oh, Firestore emulator. That's my bad. Okay, so let's try that again. Long detour there, but let's just see if it works. All right, same error. Now it's been blocked. Probably it just doesn't match the name. Check and confirm. Okay, so basically it created a function that doesn't exist. And what we want to do in this case is just go back, because we don't actually need a function for check and confirm upload. We just want to do this locally. So like, let me just read this. Check and confirm upload. So let's go back to our spec and actually see what we wrote here. So the drop zone, let's see, probably just wrote a mistake in here. Continue should call check and confirmed upload. Yeah, I just referenced a function that doesn't exist. So the AI guessed it was a Firebase function, but then it didn't implement that function because I didn't tell it what it was. So let's just right here, replace check and confirm upload with checking CSV data against, what did we call our leads, confirmed leads, and finding non-duplicated values. Save this in new leads and check whether it is less than user credits. Okay, then set a state variable confirm count for the number of non-duplicates. Now we add this new state variable. We make sure we have it in our, okay, yeah, it should work. And then let's just find where we are checking. Okay, so basically it was just a small oversight that took a long time to fix because we had to read the code to understand what was happening. But that also made us more familiar with our code base, so it's no problem. All right, and now we have the next state. So we can, I think, just reverse the order of these buttons, make them back visible as well. And then let's do color scheme teal on this, and then confirm upload will call handle upload. Let's just check what that's gonna do first. Okay, so it's gonna do upload from our functions. And do upload is in fact not a callable function. We only have one that we're gonna call directly. So instead we want to, I actually see the issue here. It's not, okay, yeah, it's not using add doc at all. So replace do upload with add doc to uploads, and then just to give it all the info that it needs, we'll make sure that it has all the correct properties. Now I kind of messed up here because we do need that lead list, that confirmed set of emails, and I just replaced it with a counter variable. So we need to actually bring that back, and let's just remove confirm count because that's kind of redundant. And then we'll replace all of these references with confirm leads length. So I'm just basically control Fing for confirmed count, replacing it again with confirmed leads, and then saving. All right, so it reset our state. So let's just bring this back and see if our write works and our state updates. So name, email, continue, found 2 new leads, and now it is processing. So that's cool. So let's actually check back here in our database. This is Firebase. And we do have an uploads record, is complete false, etc. So yeah, it turns out, yeah, the onCreate functions will only run when the Firestore emulator is running. So I guess I didn't know that. I don't write these types of functions enough, but I guess what we can do is we can add a retry handler, which in the meantime, that will be a useful feature to have in general, but basically it can just manually call this same logic. So what we can actually do is go into functions and basically take this logic out. Yeah, and then we can do it sort of like this. And then we can just use this both in a onCreate function and a callable function. So let's actually check. So we need just upload ID. Okay, let's take just upload ID as an argument here, and then read from the uploads collection. And then alternatively, we can add an upload field just in case we've already read from Firestore. In the case of the onCreate function, we already have that reference. So we can do if upload is undefined, then read from the uploads table. Upload equals, yeah, and then data. Okay, In this case, we will just move all this code inside of here, and then we can do this. We can also do an exports on call, and the autocomplete worked nicely there. And then if there's an error, we can also do a return true if it worked and return false if it didn't, because callable functions don't have very good error handling like that. So process upload. Now we just want to do a callable function and a retry column. So let's just search for one of our column headers, and we have action, and now it will actually retry for us. I don't think this is the right function. Maybe actually it is. Handle process upload. Okay, it is. And then what is our callable function name? Just process upload. So we just need a new function, yeah, that does this. And it's reading our other files, so it is in fact just auto-completing everything. So let's see if it works. We might also want a loading state on this button. So usually we'll do like set loading false at the end. And then we just need that as a state variable. Boom. All right. Moment of truth. And let's put that on the process button, sorry. Also this loading state. Okay. So it's called our callable function. We can see in the console it initialized it. Didn't necessarily connect, so let's check the console. And upload is undefined. So let's double check. And now this is, as you can see, kind of turning into just normal like coding here. So probably this is not going to be passing this correctly. Yeah, data upload ID. Okay. So let's try that again. It's not going to succeed or fail, so we need to try this again. Okay, this is great progress. So at least we are moving forward. So now we have in functions a config variable still left in there. And let's replace this with, yeah, basically these values. Okay, saved. Let's try again. We need some sort of a timeout or something on that because it's not updating the loading state correctly. Okay, snap is not defined. This is good. So we can do snap here. So I guess we're gonna have to create a third variable here that we can pass in the snap also, and then check here, and that should actually do the trick. All right, let's try this again, and let's also debug our is loading, because for whatever reason we can just log result to see what happens next time. Let's process, check our logs here. And we have a failed, so let's check our object, data false, status error. Okay, at least our error updated. And we didn't provide, we're not logging correctly in our function. So I think this request failed. Let's just log that and try one more time. Okay. So I think let me just check the API docs here, because this is now causing the issue. Post email search. For some reason it's forwarding this to XT. Yeah, just had it wrong. API docs email dash search. All right. Process. Okay, so we got another error, but at least it wasn't the going into here, if you know what I mean. So let's now console log out the data, because probably just the shape of the response is not what we expected. Yeah, so we got not matched emails and matched emails. Data, let's just recheck. Total matches 0 as expected. And let's just bring back matched emails. Okay, it's because matched emails is undefined. So if data matched emails, so we're just going to do that conditionally, and then also this conditionally, and then autocomplete messed up somewhere, so we just undo. And here we can't set values as null, so I'll just do empty array and then save. All right, let's try again. Okay, so we got failed to process, we got not matched emails, but it's unclear exactly where this is happening. So total matches, probably because this could be one issue. Actually, let's check if credits, because that should always be set. Yeah, credits is there. User data credits. We can just, in fact, see if the leads table was created. That'll give us a little bit of info. So we didn't get here. Everyone fires the internal action. So, data not matched emails. I don't think we need this. We just need this, because the emails should already be in the leads collection. And I think we're just not logging the error. So that would be something standard. I wouldn't even think to add manually, like I just do it already. So probably why I missed it. Okay, great. So it's the server timestamp. There's always problems with this thing, so I could just do new date, because the exact time is not super important. It can just be whatever time that we have at the JavaScript, in the JavaScript context. So I think this one's gonna work. I have a good feeling. Yeah, there we go. So success. Let's go back to leads, which we now need to refresh. And we've checked 2 emails, so that's actually good. That's solid. Let's try an example with an email. Well, we basically just need to test all the different possible scenarios, like, you know, duplicated emails and similar. I have this other app with email addresses in it. Don't want to dox anyone, but I'm going to take this email. So hopefully you guys don't spam him. But basically I'm going to add this into my CSV, re-download it, and we can concurrently test duplicated emails as well as the email that should have a matching result. So let's try this again. So we have our new download, and it should create a new upload record. This selecting manually, getting a little bit annoying, and then let's just confirm that upload. So let's see if it's going to work and process without any input from our side. Of course, it's not going to run though, because we don't have like the onCreate function, but it does seem like that one succeeded. One issue we have is match, not match. I mistakenly deleted that. So basically we can add that back. here. And this is another repo. This is nothing. And let's just go back to that table to see what the property name is. So we don't need all the full array here. So we can just do this, and then we can make this a counter, like so. All right, so that will fix it for the next upload. For leads, we have an error. This is good because it means there was one added successfully. So let's just check what it is in the database. So actually we got 2 records. We got a TikTok account and we got an Instagram account here. So what we can do is we have to slightly change our data model, I guess, for each user, or we can just display the, let's say, one with the most followers. So I think let's in fact do that. Let's go back over to our dashboard and actually, okay, now let's actually, after this filter, let's do a map. And we can do basically lead here. Then we can look into const profile equals lead users find, and we'll find the user with the highest basically followers. So just to save some brain effort here, we can say find the user with the greatest followers. All right, I'm speeding this part up just because I look really dumb because I couldn't map the shape of the data to what I need to display on the page because it generated me this reduce function and I didn't read it, and I thought I knew what it was doing, but I didn't. So I just kept going back and forth, like, I don't know, confused. What I should have done is just paste in the object. Cursor is really good at this. You just give it some JSON and you say, I want to convert it to this, and it'll write the code for you. So I don't know why I chose to do it myself, but yeah, no one's perfect. Okay, I didn't say anything in the video or celebrate because I wanted to keep going, but at this point the app is fully implemented. The core functionality works. The only thing missing is the Stripe payments as well as the deployment itself. Those are just normal coding. So I'm gonna keep showing it. I'm gonna keep going, but I'm gonna speed up the video because the AI and the core app is done. And for the rest, I'll just do a voiceover explaining what I'm doing. So the first thing I did, as you'll see, is add those links both to the influencer profile and email, and you'll see the time when I finish is exactly 3:24, so exactly 1 hour to finish the core app. The next thing I did was deploy the app to production, so I use Fly.io. It's the same as Vercel or any cloud hosting provider. And then I'm jumping over to Stripe to implement all the Stripe methods. And I'm not sure why, but I decided to do that fully manually, even though the AI could have done it. It was just doing a few things the way I'm not used to, so I went through the whole thing, and you'll see that was kind of a mistake. Also, jumped over to enable the auth domain for production. It allows you to authenticate only on that specific domain. And I believe what I'm doing now is testing that. And then what I'm going to do next is do the Stripe checkout link. So that's basically just a request that you send. So I'm enabling callable functions in Firestore to securely call that and read from the users table to pass the user data through to generate a checkout session link. So I'm reading the docs, I'm reading from the users table, updating the secrets, and it will return me a link which I can do a redirect to so the user can complete their payment. So I'm just still changing a bit of code for that, changing to make sure the secrets are correct and setting the values of a credit. Now just a little bit of debugging, looking back and forth, error message. Okay, now it works. So I looked up how to make quantities adjustable so users can choose how many credits they're buying and buy as many as they want. And so that's about to be done. Just again, normal coding. So there we go. You can manually adjust it and it will update the price. And the next thing we're gonna do is the webhook. So that is basically sending a request to your custom URL when a payment's completed. You have to listen for the checkout session completed event. And while I was doing that at the same time, was starting to do the customer portal implementation. Now I'm speeding up this part even more, and you can see how fast the time is going, because this feature I actually didn't even use. It did not work at all for fixed payments. It's really only built for subscriptions, where it'll show you your payment history. You can modify, cancel your subscription, etc. But basically, I just wanted to show you everything I added in this coding session, because you can see how much time I wasted here at the end, and the clock is just ticking, and also how inefficiently I'm doing it. So I guess it's important not to get tunnel vision when you're coding, because what I should have done is set up the local Stripe event simulator and then tested the webhooks there, but instead I'm redeploying the functions, sending the webhook event, and then checking the logs to see what the error is. It's just super stupid. So I don't know why I did that. But anyway, I just wanted to show you anyway, and also the fact that in the end, it didn't even work. Great. And here you can just see me disappointed when nothing displays in the portal. However, it could be useful in the future if we are auto-charging people somehow. Okay, so as you guys can see, that's led to a pretty much completed app. Yeah, basically wasted the last hour messing around with Stripe docs. But as you can see, everything's working. When you buy credits, the webhook securely updates that based on a confirmed payment. You have the stats summary, and then it will automatically be deducting here. And then obviously you have your links here. And then the download CSV, which I just tested, it is also working. So you can add this to your favorite email tool or similar. So as for where this goes from here, I think these post MVP features could make it very useful, particularly a Shopify one, because then it becomes fully automated, no uploading CSVs needed. And I think the emailing people is also quite cool, but maybe less necessary, because you want to customize your offer a lot. So hope it was interesting. Remember again to check out the AI for Business Builders guide. Link is in description. Did you guys like this build? Because I can do more apps. And what do you think of Cursor overall? My opinion, you can see some of the pros and cons here. Really good for starting from scratch if you write a detailed spec. But that being said, if you don't know how to write the spec well, if you don't know how to debug once it generates that code, adding things like environment variables, researching docs maybe Cursor doesn't have access to, you're gonna hit a wall pretty quick with actually finishing your app. And that's what I wanted to show in this video.